Hi, thanks for coming. I think you all figured out my name's Karl Fleddermann. And I live in Austin, and I do this work in Dallas and Houston, New Orleans, and Austin, obviously. And the work that I do is I teach this third eye meditation. I also have classes in spirituality, which are tomorrow afternoon, starting at 12:30. Really interesting topics this week, the realms of spirit and acceptance. I also do readings and spiritual counseling sessions. I work with parents with their children in child guidance, and I'm a coach. I have clients who work with me on a continuing basis. And before I do any of that work, I always start off the same way. And I call it a prayer, and I call the prayer calling in the light. And the intention of this prayer is to take myself and move it closer to spirit, the spirit within me and the spirit without me. I have been using a variation of these words for, let's just say, a long time. So if you don't like the words, I don't really care. But I do ask that you keep with the intention. And the intention is to move your spirit closer to spirit. Okay? And the way that, the prayer is also a creative visualization. It's a prayer of clearing. So if you want to follow along with the creative visualization, you can do that also. So the way it always starts for me is I just take in a deep breath, and I just let the breath out, and I just let my day go. So it's gone. And the words go like this. Father, Mother, God, I ask just now for the light to come into my soul. I ask for this light to extend out from my soul throughout my whole body, clearing and cleansing all parts. I ask for the light to extend out to my aura, removing any beings, any people, any negativity, so that I may be this emanating white light. I ask for the light to surround me for my highest good. And anything that can be released be taken into the higher realms of light and dispersed there. I am grateful, Father, to be of service, and for this I give my thanks. Amen.
Okay, amen.
So you're here for a third eye meditation, all right? Now this meditation is a very unique kind of meditation. It's not really a meditation. It's more of a contemplation, if we're going to talk about it technically. To me, what I see going on in the outside world is that there are basically two kinds of meditations. One is the meditation where you focus on your breathing, where you get in touch with your body expanding and contracting from your breaths. You get in contact with your body. I first learned this meditation doing yoga. It's one of most all of the yoga classes teach that sort of meditation. It also is being taught through the oneness meditation. That if you go and do the oneness meditation, that one is focused on breathing also and getting in touch with your body. Both effective. The other form of meditation is what I call a guided meditation. And during that meditation, usually somebody tells you a story. You follow along with someone as they take you. One of the most common places is they take you through all your auras, all your chakras, cleaning them, expanding them, doing things like that. This is not anything like that, either one of those. Your third eye, as we all have pictured it, see it as the eye that sits on your forehead. Well, actually, your third eye is located within your brain cavity, okay? And where it is located is interesting. It's, if you go about an inch or an inch and a half to where your temple is, and you draw an imaginary line there, and then you do another imaginary line from where we're used to seeing your third eye all the way through in the back, and where those two lines cross is a spot or a sphere, and that is the gateway to your third eye. This spot has a name, and the name is called the Tisser Till. All right? I have only seen this word in print in two places. One is from where I learned this meditation, and the other one's in a book that's called The Path of the Masters. I have had people say that if they Google it, they can't find it, and I've seen them whip out their phones. Go straight to Karl. Type it in and see if they can find it. And as of last night, it's not on the web. So what we're asking you to do is to focus on your Tisser Till. That's just one point, okay? Or it's a sphere. It's because you're all unique, it's going to be unique for you. All right? So that's what we're asking you to do. And the intention of this meditation is for you to get closer to the spirit within you and enter into the spiritual worlds. Now, let's talk about what actually is going to happen when you do this meditation. What's actually going to happen is that you are constantly going to find out that your mind has taken you someplace and you get yourself daydreaming about something. And so the majority of your time is going to be catching yourself out there in your imagination and pulling yourself back in and focusing on that point, the Tisser Till. The way that works is that's the way the mind works, and the mind is not designed to enter into the spiritual worlds. So every time you say it, I'm going to do spiritual XYZ, your mind's going to give you images or create distractions for yourself so that you don't do that, because it doesn't know anything about it. You ask it how to be successful on the planet, how to survive, how to move forward, create plans. That's the realm of your mind, not entering into the spiritual worlds. So your mind is going to continually present things for you to distract you from focusing on your Tisser Till. For me, it's virtually the same thing every time. I sit down to meditate, I call on the light, and the first thing that pops up is my to-do list. And it wouldn't be so bad if it was just my to-do list, right? But it's not, it never tells me about what I've done. It always tells me about what I haven't done. Then, I bet you can guess what happens next after it's finished with that one. It creates tomorrow's to-do list. So I'm used to just sitting down, getting comfortable in the chair and just letting my mind do that. Okay? Because that's what's really going to happen. You're going to spend the majority of your time focusing back in on your Tisser Till. So, I don't know about you, but I love the movies. All right? Lived in Southern California for a long time. One of the things I liked about the movies is that I would really get involved in the movies on the screen. I would, follow the character development, the storyline, the colors, the action, the whole thing. And what I found out was that about 95% of the time, when I was so focused on the screen, there was some, I call them organic thoughts, that came into my consciousness. Other people might call them intuitions. All right? And so that's what happened to me with the movies. And that's exactly what we're doing here. We're having you focus on your Tisser Till, And then we're going to ask you to get your mind to focus on something. Just like my mind was focused on the screen, I'm going to ask you to focus on something. All right? And what I'm going to ask you to focus on is, this is what we are, correct? Humans?
You.
Now, little known fact is that both of these syllables were derived from Sanskrit. This one has a Sanskrit word that means man, that translates into man. But when you translate the Sanskrit, it translates into mind. And hue is a Sanskrit word, and when it's translated out of the Sanskrit, it translates into God. So I always love the person who came up with this word for us, because I think it's a great explanation of who we are, God and mind. So what I'm going to ask you to do to keep, to focus on your mind, to get your mind focused, is to say or chant the word hue. Now it can be done many ways. You can do it like hue. Extend the U as much as you want. You can do it by just going hue. You can do it by doing H-U. Some woman came up to me last night after the meditation and said, I would just go hue, 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 hue.
It works.
And I loved it, you know. I thought, this is great. She found a way to make it work for her. So that's what I'm asking you to do.
That's the birth breathing.
I'm sorry?
That's the birth breathing.
Okay, there you go. So that's what I'm asking you to do. So I'm going to recap. You're going to sit in your chair, you're going to focus on your tis or till, and you're going to chant or say the word hue. Okay? Now let's talk about body posture. Okay? The joke I say is that I could have been the original Ritalin kid. Okay? I have a lot of energy that goes through my body all the time, and it's been going on since 4. Okay? So I'm not one of those people that say when you meditate you have to sit in the perfect yoga position and not move. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't meditate if I had to. So for me it's okay. Move around, shift your body. The energy's going to come in, it's going to be different for you. You're going to feel comfortable moving around. There are lots of different ways to do this. I've seen people stand up with their back against the wall. A lot of people want to lay down. All right? Some people have stood facing the wall. There are no rules here. So it's really whatever makes you feel comfortable. If you have to go to the restroom, please go to the restroom. You're welcome to come back. If the energy gets too much for you and you feel like you want to get out of the room, then fine. You can go out of the room and take a breath or two, and if you choose to come back, that's fine. About 3 or 4 months ago, I was here at this center, and the woman got up and left 3 different times. And it was like, fine with me, you know. So it's like, whatever works for you. We want this meditation to work for you. All right. I'm just trying to recap in my consciousness what have I forgot, if there's anything that I've forgotten. Okay, so there's a little exercise that I call priming the pump. Okay? And what it is I'm going to give each one of you a picture of a third eye. And the exercise, when we start our meditation, the exercise is going to be to look at and through the picture of the third eye. I'm going to say for about a minute. Then I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. And then imagine that third eye at the point of your tis or till. And we're going to do that for a minute. Then I'm going to ask you to open up your eyes, or open up your eyelids, And look again at the third eye picture, looking at and through it. And you're going to do that for about a minute. And then we'll go into the meditation. Does everybody understand what we're doing? Does anybody have any questions about how the meditation works? At the end, I will open it up and ask anyone if they want to share what they experienced during the meditation. Don't feel like you have to share. I understand this whole concept of it's my spiritual experiences, and you should keep them to yourself. The reason why I ask for sharing is that there are some things that are pretty common that happen to all of us or a few of us by doing this meditation. And so I like people to share that so that hopefully it'll create some enthusiasm so that you'll go home and do this meditation at home. It's like, oh yes, it really did work. Things like that. Okay? Everybody seems ready.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll turn out the fluorescent lights. And I'll do a brief version of calling in the light. And thanks for coming. The real reason why I started this meditation is I love meditating in groups. So this was the way I got people together so I could meditate in groups. When I do this meditation 4 times a week and I meditate in a group 4 times a week, part of me goes, yay. This is twice this week, so this is good. Twice as good. All right, so just get comfortable and Father, Mother, God, we just ask for the light to be with us. To be with us and in us and throughout all of our being. So right now, just open your eyelids and look at and through the picture of the third eye. Gently close your eyelids and imagine that third eye at the point where those 2 lines intersect near Chisholm.